Express because I was out in the yard working, trying to get all this stuff. Good gracious, all the stuff that blew over in the backyard. And right now I'm dealing with the pool pump. It's been out there, many of you know, probably about 3 or 4 hurricanes back. We had a tornado roll through here and it flipped my pool on top of my roof. This was before the next one that came along and ripped my roof off. And of course with this one, I've just got down power trees and, you know, or down trees that knocked out the power and stuff like that from the other neighbors. I don't go nowhere, you know. I'm not the best at yard work, but I pretty much keep the yard fairly clean up until, which one was it? It wasn't Ian. Ian, actually, we fared pretty well through Ian. It was Irma. Irma was a smaller storm, but it had a lot of wind damage and a lot of flooding here in Hopkins County, even though it was a smaller storm. So I'm out there I was trying to salvage my fence panels, and I've just this is the second year and more panels fell down, and I'm like, you know, if I'm going to be putting another fence up, I'm going to want newer panels. These panels are, you know, they're worn. They've been around for a decade. You know, it's probably time just to go ahead and pitch them. So I've been casually walking one at a time, you know, so I don't hurt my back because I'm already having neuropathy down my arms. So I've been doing it and using the wheelbarrow and making sure I don't hurt, twist, bend. You know, I'm bending my knees. The things we do, right? The things we do. So, and I don't mind wearing my ex-husband's business shirt because the business has been closed down. This phone number doesn't even exist. It belongs to somebody else. I don't know who. But that's the only reason why. I figured might as well use old work shirts, right? I'm going to be out there in the freaking dirt. Why not? It's actually pretty clean. This is one of those shirts that he used to get so sweaty and his shirts would turn yellow. And you know what the best thing to clean white when you get like that, believe it or not, is Cascade dishwashing liquid with lemon. I sprayed it all on it. I would roll the shirt up in it, and I'd let it soak like that in like I'd have this like a tray, you know, like one of those trays that you see at the restaurants that they pick up your utensils and stuff in. So I use one of those trays and I stick it in there with water, and after about a day or something, they come out bright white. Just FYI, I thought I'd throw that out there. The only bad thing is if you do it too much, it fades the print, because this is like print to garment, and it starts fading the black and stuff like that. But this is one of the very first logos I ever designed right there. That's one of the first logos I've ever designed. I thought I did pretty good. Sammy, it's nice to see you. Miss Lee, mom of 3, which reminds me, stick with me just for a second. All right, back. Sorry about that. Where were we? Miss Lee, mom of 3. Let me add this. I don't want to start a poll. Can I not comment in my own chat? How do I comment in my own chat? Can I not comment in my own chat? What in the world? Ha! It won't let me comment. This is insane. How does everybody else get comments, but Bullhorn Betty doesn't? I can only start a poll. That's all I can do. Well, son of a gun. Son of a gun. Pin to live. Tag first product, then you can pin it. Oh, that's great. Okay, well, I don't know how to do all that. It's not allowing me to put a comment in here. You know what I'm going to do? This is what I'm going to do. Let me send it over. I can't even, oh, gosh, such a pain in the back. I'm back. I wanted to put something in chat and it wouldn't let me post anything. That just really irks me. I should be able to post like everybody else in my own darn chat. I guess because they think if we're talking on the phone, we shouldn't be chatting. Well, I disagree. One of the reasons why we're here is because I was listening to the Hot Mess Express. Hold on. Can I turn this down? There we go. There we go. Let me go over here. I was listening to the Hot Mess Express. Somebody sent it. I really wish you wouldn't send me the hate channels. I don't like supporting them. I don't like seeing them. And, you know, unless there's something that's related to my case, I really don't want to. Won't let me do what I need to do. For the love of Christ. Copy. Let me just copy the damn thing. Okay, hopefully this will fix my problem. I'm sorry, guys. It's not letting me post. Why won't it let me post? Like, I'm in here on my own, and it still won't let me put there. I finally got a chat. I think there's some glitchy thing going on, guys, because I've been having glitchy stuff going on. I should have a chat button under mine. People have been thinking they're blocked. They're not blocked. There's something going on the phone app. There's something going on the like the other day I was on the computer and it wouldn't let me post in Justin for All's chat, and then I went to my phone and it let me post. So they're having some glitchy crap going on. I've never not been able to post in my own chat before, but it's not letting me. I had to go in as a new person. Hopefully you guys can see that. Pin that. At least it'll let me pin. So, oh, did we get somebody coming in? Oh, what is this? Terry F, 1 month. We love you. Keep fighting. Doing great work. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not saying hi to everybody in here just quite yet. We've already got 240 people in here. And like I said, I was out there working on my, trying to get the backyard cleaned up, because that's going to be, I see that Delilah really enjoys being back there. And because she really enjoys being back there, I want to make sure that it's safe. And not only that, but I've got to get the chain link gate back up. The fence, part of it's wood, part of it's chain link. I mean, I have a whole entire chain link. The chain link belongs to me all the way around. And when we had dogs, my dogs were climbing fences. So because they were climbing fences, we decided to put in a wood fence, but turn the wood paneling back around as it, where the stuff that they crawl up is on the side of the fence, the chain link fence. So it looked like it was everybody else's fence, but it really was a second fence inside of our own fence. But that was the only way we could keep, like the pit bull, we had Max. Max would literally climb up a fence, okay? It didn't matter if it was a wood fence. It didn't matter if it was 6 foot high, 8 foot high. That damn dog, and he was a big dog too. I don't know how the hell, I watched him do it. He climbed up. He'd use the 3 little slats that hold the pickets on the freaking fence. And he would pull himself up to the next one, and then he'd climb up. And then when he gets to the top, he just flops himself over the top, and he's out of the gate. He was a very smart dog. And so we did that. Well, that fence is falling down. I still have the chain link, and I didn't let Vince throw the chain link gate away. So I've got the original gate that was on this house when I first bought it that I can put back up. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Anyways, one of our conversation as I hear some more hate channels on here, it's like, you know what, I've looked at them. No matter what you do, no matter who it is, no matter what case it is, they always complain. I have never heard them not complain about everything everybody else is doing but them. And I finally, the light bulb went off on top of my head and made me realize why they're doing this. Because the more that they complain about everybody else and how they're doing stuff, the more people aren't paying attention that they're doing absolutely nothing but sitting on their butts, their fat asses, and doing absolutely nothing. And I mean nothing to help. They complain about everybody. They complain about how they search. They complain about what they post. They complain about this. They complain about that. But when do they ever actually do anything for anybody else to complain about? That must be so interesting and such a great place to be, where you can complain about everybody doing while you're sitting there and being complacent and doing nothing but complaining about everybody else's work. But you yourself are stealing their work and actually not doing any actual work to help find anybody. But you sit there with your hand out and say, oh, but I'm complaining about everybody. Please pay me. Please tip me for complaining, even though we don't do billboards, we don't do searches, we don't post flyers, we don't support people or buy flyers for families. We do nothing but sit on our hands and complain about every single person, everybody else but us. And it's a deflection. It's clear deflection at this point. They've done nothing. They've complained about the searchers. They complained about the ground searchers. They complained about the water searchers. but they're not doing ground searches. They're not doing water searches. They complained about flyers being up, but they're not handing out any flyers. They're not posting any flyers. So I think why they complain so loud and so strong is because if they're complaining about somebody else, people aren't paying attention to the fact that they ain't doing squat. Hey, Nick, it's nice to see you. I saw Fat Lips on, and I figured it was just time to get on. It's sad that people flock to the drama but don't flock to the victim. That should tell you a lot about these hate channels, and it should tell you a lot about the pieces of shit that watch them. Okay, and if you're here and I just offended you, then please exit stage right. Because if you can support that, you can't support what we're doing. There's no way. You cannot support those vile people that do nothing but cause problems in these cases, case after case after case. And it's the one group of people in every single case. Every single case. And you know what? They find the dirtiest of the dirty new creators that come aboard, and they surround them to bring them over to their dirty side of the tracks. And I'm going to tell anybody that's new to this platform, it seems easy and it's tantalizing. They want to bring you over. They want to make you one of them. It is, you know what? You know how gangs flourish? Because they take people, they take very impressionable people, and tell them, look, you come over here, you're going to have a family. We're going to take care of you. It's the gang mentality because they are felons. They are part of that whole entire organization of criminality that protects the bad guys. And they tell all these lonely people, come over here. We'll be your friend. We'll be your family. Just pay us. You can be part of this, and this. Just come over here and pay us. And you know what? Most people go over there and pay that because they like that camaraderie. They like being able to go up on a panel and say their mind and speak their mind and act important and feel important, you know? Instead of thinking about the victim, they're thinking about themselves. Their whole freaking chat is like that. The only reason why they're there is they're hate bonding. But what do they actually do to help any of these cases? What are they doing? Are they going out there and posting flyers? No. Are they doing things to advocate for the victim that inspire legitimate leads to come in? No. Do they go out there and promote and support ground searches and ground efforts? No. How about water efforts? No. Flyer campaigns? No. Do they attend to vigils? They'll send somebody to vigils to disrupt them. Wow. How about memorials? No, they send clowns to memorials to disrupt them. So how in the world can they sit there and complain about anybody being on the ground, working their butt off, trying to find answers for this boy? It's very simple. Because they do absolutely nothing. And the only way that they can deflect from that is trying to shame everybody else that's doing. I'd love to see Fat Lips, Shamu, and because we know that the beached whale, we know she didn't do a damn thing. She wasn't even in the proper clothes to do anything. She was leaning against a truck. So much for searching that day. But great photo op. Not. That was a hot mess express. I would have been embarrassed to be in that photo. And they're all smiling. It's sad. It's sad. Second thesis said they rake in money, and the one felon filled her legal coffers in one day, thousands of dollars. Then someone else named Easy E gifted 50 memberships 14 times. She got like $5 grand in one day and didn't help not one person. And do you guys know that she set those campaigns up? My understanding, she can't go through PayPal anymore because I think somebody filed fraud on her because they said it was for the legal fund, and she bought her daughter a car. She bought her daughter a car. And now she's got her hand out again asking for more money because she doesn't have money to continue to pay her attorney, from what I'm understanding, because she decided to buy her kid a car when instead with the legal fund she had to make sure she could fight me in court. And these idiots, why didn't you guys just put your name on the dotted line for her daughter's car? They draw attention away from searching for Sebastian. That's all they do. But the one thing I have a problem with is, why do you think people are more drawn into complaining, moaning, and groaning from these people? Swear that they care about these victims, right? Her audience swears that they care about the victim, but they do nothing for the victims. None of them do. Anybody that sees people in her chat with a crown on their head needs to really consider what they are doing and what they are supporting. Because right now they've supported nothing but trash. They've supported nothing but criminals. They've supported nothing but hindering efforts. That's all they've supported. Every bit of it. War Eagle, we think you're effing fab. Yeah, you are effing fab. Don't worry, War Eagle. I hope they didn't bother your channel and knock you down, because if they did, I'm suing her. I'm going to sue her in federal court for the copyright stuff, because you know what? I was not going to do it, but if this is how she's going to act when she's the queen of theft, of content theft, you bet your ass, because I've had my logo, literally, I could have sued a whole lot of them, because I've had my logo copyrighted since 2021, 2022 latest. And they've been using it all this time. Like, I could literally sue them. Every one of them. They didn't even know. And they're always saying, oh, she's the queen of suing. Well, I could have brought suits a long time ago. I could have made it a lot easier for myself, because that was a slam dunk. You know? So my logo's copyrighted, that all of them have no problem displaying on their channels, which is a great way to get their channels taken down, because I don't need to go through YouTube for copyright. I can literally send them a letter and literally file suit at the copyright board complaint board. I don't need to go through YouTube to notify them to take their shit down. Everybody keeps thinking that this law, you have to go. No, I do not. And not only that, I've already got an email from her for 2 years ago, or a year or so ago, telling her to quit using my content. So that will be also applied to that. But you know, she keeps screwing around. There's a lot of legal action out here that people can do to really protect their interests in the work that they do, just like me. And it would be my opinion, if you have work, it's $62.50. If you see a content creator trashing your work for $62.50, you register that work and you go after them for the $7,500 of copyright. Because let me tell you, these copyright boards, they're very liberal, okay, when it comes to this. But when they show your entire video and try to say that it's protected under fair use, that's when they start getting into problems. Because fair use is for snippets. You can't play the whole thing and just stop it every few seconds and commentate on the whole thing and say that that's fair use. I've looked into it and I've talked to copyright attorneys. I know for a fact that that's improper and illegal as hell, and not proper use of fair use. So now that I know that, and I know what laws are protecting me, because again, I went and sat down. Actually, I talked to, it was, and this can be corroborated by Jonathan Lee Riches, as well as Chronicles of Olivia, because we were in Moab, Utah, or was it in, I think we're in Moab. It was no, it was the one we were all three together. So it would have been Moab, Utah, when we talked to, it was either that or Tennessee, because those were the only two cases we were going on at that time. And that's when I decided to copyright my logo, was based upon my conversation with that attorney. And all three of us were there on a consult with the attorney, a copyright and trademark attorney. And so they gave us the ins and outs of what we should do and what's going to cost more and this, that, and the other. So I definitely know how fair use by a lawyer is supposed to be conducted. And I know damn well that they are violating it every single time they play entire clips. Now we do it too, right? It's not like they're the only ones getting, but see, we don't strike people. And when you don't like the commentary and you want to sit there, because I'm going to be playing that bitch's live, that interview. Let her strike my freaking channel. I'm going to go scorch earth on her. I'm going to go absolutely scorch earth on her. I will drag her ass into a copyright. I don't give a rat's ass anymore. Every time she does something to me, I'm filing a lawsuit. Every last time. Because it's not abuse. Because she's the one causing the conduct that's getting her sued. And I don't mind throwing $307 every other month. But right now, what I can do is, because I'm already in an action And these are all just continuation of actions. She's just perpetuating my ability to file amended complaints, because as long as I'm adding new complaints there that she continues to do, I will always be entitled to amending my complaint. Because amendments of complaints are freely given. So I know she likes to talk a lot of mad cash crap on hers about our lawsuit and stuff like that, but half the time she ain't even telling them the truth, because she knows I don't talk about it on my end. Well, here you go. And they can sit there and try to say this is an abusive process. No, I have a right to bring lawsuits when you break the law, civilly or criminally. Sometimes, because of the situation of her being in another state, there's no other avenue for me to go after her criminally. I can only go after her civilly. So you know what? That's what I'm doing. And when she finally learns that all she needs to do is take the advice she gave barbecue lady, and just seems a little easier than just to shut your mouth, maybe it would work. But she's too busy conning her audience for more thousands of dollars, because she probably needs to buy another kid she's not taking care of, that doesn't live under her roof because she's a piece of shit mom, another car so she can look or feel like she's being a good mommy when she's not. I can make you a couple of shirts. Oh, Chillbilly Creations. Nice to see you, my love. Thank you. I'm going to be wearing Clarissa's shirt that she sent me. Coffee and True Crime shirt. I'm going to be wearing that tomorrow. So you'll be checking that out. But I love shirts. Any shirts, I'll wear them. I'll wear shirts. And I'll call you out. All of my clips now have music and fair use, so they are legal of me to use without getting strikes. I spent 2 days redoing all of them. Well, good. You didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that, but these freaking jokes. Oh, shit. I just pulled. God burn it. My sock got under. Just pulled the Delilah's. Sorry, guys. Delilah's bell just grabbed my sock and pulled a string out of my sock, and it was stuck on her bow. So every time I went to move my leg, I was dragging Delilah off the chair. Oh, that was too funny. That was too funny. I want to make you some for your live streams. Do you have a P.O. box? Chillbilly, send me an email to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, and I'll tell you how to send them to me. Did you guys see Delilah? Oh, I got to put this down. You guys got to see her. This is from Gypsy. Gypsy. Look at her. Look how cute she looks. I'm not lying. Oh, look at her. Look at her in her pretty little dress. Look at her. Tell me she's not adorable. Oh, look at her all dressed up. Look at that. Oh. Oh, she's too cute. Look at that pretty little bow. Oh, she's a little girl. She's a little girl. She's mommy's. She can't wait to go see her Gramsies. She's ready to go see her Gramsies. There's her Gene Simmons. There's her Gene Simmons. I have to be honest with you. Puppies are like kids, okay? I will not lie to you. I've had grandchildren, 3 of them, and sometimes I think my 3 grandchildren were a lot easier to deal with at one time than this little ball of energy right here. But she's so good. She went over, we took the neighbor. Oh no, guys, listen to this. I'm going crazy. I think I'm selling my house. I think I'm going to sell my house. I think I made my decision to sell. So Glenn came over. You guys know Glenn has been my rock, right? He's when Vince and I came here, like this house, it was not in any kind of condition when we purchased it at all. It was ran down as you can be. Like we did a lot to this house. We put new doors all the way around it, new windows all the way around it, water heater. We replaced the roof twice. You know, new flooring, ripped out the old kitchen. I remember when I bought this house and I got it tented, I remember the guy from the termite place looked and said, "Oh, you got your guys a real peach." I said, "Your imagination's just not good enough." Your imagination's just not good enough. Oh, thank you, Don. Welcome to becoming the newest member of our beautiful family we call the Coffee Club. And so I was sitting here and stuff like that, and I remember when I saw this place, I'm like, the house is chopped up, you got a bedroom over here that doesn't really go in here, and all this other stuff, and of course you have plans to do this and do that, to make the house more comfortable and more, not so choppy and stuff like that, because it was originally a 2-1, and they've, enclosed the carport and made it a huge master suite on this side of the house, and it's just, it doesn't flow well. Okay, it really doesn't. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't flow well, but the price was right? And that's what matters. The price was right. It was what we could afford for cash, right? I did not want any more payments. I got this house, believe it or not. You guys are going to fall over when you hear how much I paid for the house. I paid $25,000 for the house. And at the very, very beginning, I put 10 grand into it, and that ripped out my entire kitchen and got me new kitchen and new flooring. Okay. Oh no, the flooring didn't come until later. So it was still just tiled. So we did the kitchen. We had to remove a wall, move a wall over just a tad bit, and open up the kitchen just a little bit. So we've got all that done in the house before I moved in. It took a year to get the kitchen ripped out and this house manageable enough that we could move in. A year. Long story short, the reason why I bought this house was because a man came out of his house while I was looking. I wasn't really keen on the area. I really didn't like it. I was a little worried. This was this was kind of a downgrade for my other house, but to be honest with you, paying off a house was a lot more affordable buying this one than trying to pay off my old house. So in order to have a paid off house, I downgraded, knowing that this was only going to be temporary. I wasn't expecting to be here a decade. And here we are. But Glenn is the reason why I purchased this home. He came out and talked to us. He had been here since 1992. He told us everything about the road. He told us about the cop down the road, so we felt a little safer. He started, it's the reason. Well, long story short, is I found out today that Glenn it sounds like he's made his decision to sell his house. And not only made the decision to sell his house, already has a buyer for his house and will most likely be gone in 30 days. This isn't the reason. He was the reason why I purchased this home to begin with, because he was nice. I felt like I already had somebody that would watch over, made me feel safe, Seeing him and speaking to him that first time really made me feel comfortable enough to buy the house. And you guys know that, even when Vince and I were here, Glenn was a big part of our family. When we had Thanksgiving, he always came over. When I leave out of town or anytime that we went on trips or anything like that, he always watched the house, always brought the mail in. When I had my dogs, he always would come over here and take care of the dogs when Vince left the dogs with me. And it was very hard on me. And he was the one that let me know that ever since Vince left, that Chance is not doing well. He's been very temperamental. Chance he went everywhere with his dad, and for his dad just to leave him behind when he did everything with his dogs, it was very hard. All the dogs were miserable. They went from having a person here all day, every day to play with them, bring them in, bring them out, not making sure they didn't get hot and stuff, to me being gone for weeks at a time. It wasn't fair for them. And then when Vince said he was coming back for them, he didn't. He came back and got the trailer of tools and locked the dogs in here without food or water for 24 hours when I came home. I was fit to be tied. I was so angry. I could have popped Vince's head off. Like, I really could have. If you want to talk about a mama bear being just disgruntled, that would have been the day, I was very, very angry because I felt like that was abusive to the animals. That was not right. And so I finally just had to come to Jesus with myself and realize that, at the end of the day, these were Vince's dogs. It wasn't fair. I mean, he was paying me like $40 or $50 a month to keep him fed. But after he got all his tools and basically robbed the house when he was supposed to come back and pick up the dogs, I realized he never had any intention of taking his dogs with him. And He stopped all payment for food and everything, you know, dog support, right? And that's when I realized he was not coming back for them. So I couldn't handle them. They weren't my dogs, they were his dogs. And so I ended up having to rehome every single one of the dogs. Delilah is my first dog since Max. Max was my dog. He died shortly after us moving into this house. And I haven't really had a dog since. So Delilah's literally my first dog. And Max came to me as a full-grown dog. I didn't have puppy, you know. I've never raised puppies. Vince raised all the dogs. All the dogs we had were puppies, and he raised them. So Glenn's been around for a really long time, and Glenn has really helped my household immensely. He's been the neighborhood watch guy since I've been here. He always reports anything that's bad. And now I'm looking at possibly not having my Rock of Gibraltar living next to me anymore. And he's the only neighbor I communicate with here. I don't really, you know, we don't have block parties here. I really don't know my neighbors very well. The other neighbor across the street I really liked, but you know, her dogs attacked my dogs and we had to get the cops involved, and that, you know, we don't really speak. I mean, we don't have anything angry to say to each other, but we really don't speak like we used to. And so it's like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, the only reason why I stayed here is because of Glenn. You know, Glenn took care of everything when I was gone. And now that he's going to be gone in 30 days, like, I don't know. I'm not sure. It's just going to be very weird, you know, not having Glenn or Emily. Like, my dog wakes up every morning and goes outside and looks across that fence for Emily every single day. And several times, every time she goes outside, it's the first thing she looks before she potties or anything else. She looks over there to see if Emily's outside and if she can go play with Emily. And it's just going to be very hard, you know. I've watched Emily. I mean, Emily came here as a pup, and her and I have been like BFFs before Delilah. So I don't know. I just found this out today. I don't know how I'm going to be handling it, but I'm kind of sad, you know. But it might be the big kick in my caboose to ditch this house. This house, I was never supposed to live in here this long. I've never been happy in this house. This house is choppy. It doesn't hold my crap very well. It's always because I got so much, you know, I came from a bigger house. I got bigger furniture, and it makes the smaller house look even smaller. So, I don't know, you know. I've got plenty of equity. There's not one house in Manatee County right now selling for under $300,000, even in the ghetto. Okay, even in the ghetto. So I thought, you know, I need to bring over a realtor and find out. But I have a funny feeling, y'all. We might be moving, because I'm going to tell you, if Glenn sells and I get a shitty neighbor, that's it for me. I'm done. Like, I'm done. Sell as is. I know house prices are ridiculous. They are. I may pack up and go to my mommy's. Moms always welcome spoiled, rotten kids. Mommy, I'm coming home. Aren't you so happy? Yay! My mama's changing the keys. I can hear. I'm hearing the key locks change now. I'm hearing the key locks change now. Off topic, but I just joined your Facebook group, and I must say my convos on there have been super conducive so far. Prayers for Sebastian. Thank you. Yeah, we've been building a great platform. We've been trying to keep it to the facts. We're a little more organized on this case than we were on Summer Wells. On Summer Wells, you know, we were kind of, let's just kick the front door in and say, hey, we're here. And that's basically what we did. You know, we've all, you know, all of us have settled down a lot since those first days. But to be honest with you, it worked in the Summer Wells case. I mean, we unearthed a lot of information with that strategy. It's a strategy that that I still use in part, but not so much. I'm still very pointed, especially when I'm out in the field and I'm interviewing somebody and I know they're full of shit. I start getting very, very pointed with them. I start asking them a lot, like, why? Why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. Can you explain that to me? Back then we were a little more aggressive in trying to find the truth than we are now. But after being beat up for 3 years, who has the time to deal with that? But either way, this case has really rocked my boat, because I know what I'm seeing, I know what I'm feeling, I know what the evidence, where the evidence is leading, and I'm so sick and tired of people saying I gotta be somebody's freaking friend when I think they're a freaking monster. I can look at them and see the evil. The evil, I don't think that they know it. I think that when they wake up, they go in the mirror and they put this smile on their face and they think that people, if they can just smile long enough, people will start believing them. But I gotta tell you, the longer we have to go through this process and the more I have to listen to the BS, the more I know that they have things that they need to come clean with. And this is the only avenue that we have to talk about these cases. This is the only avenue we have to have an opportunity to get the information out there, not the narrative, the information. We're doing this all in their own words. Smile and wave, just smile and wave. Hey, right, smile and wave at the drone. That was like that was horse manure. That was a spit in the face to everybody that's been out there, blood, sweat, and tears looking for that child, and they're just leaning up against vehicles, and it's like, hey, how you doing? We're here. Can't you see us? Not a stitch of sweat, not a stitch of dirt, just, you guys seen Layla Santinello. For those that were here during Layla Santinello and our searches in Layla Santinello, do you guys know I had literally mud up my back? I had to search my body and Olivia's bodies for ticks. Okay, ticks. It was tick season when we went searching for her. Like, I could have gotten Lyme disease. And we got these yahoos with a freaking umbrella and leaning against vehicles, waving and smiling. And I'm like, yeah, SARS trained my ass. You might got the training, but you definitely ain't got the brain cells. Not to mention, Katie was throwing everyone the bird finger. Wow. Was she? In the photo, I didn't see that. Yeah, they're so scared, man. Those are some big ass people. And they're scared of a little 5 foot, barely 5'1", 145 pound chick. You got me driving in a car, filming. Okay. My initial post was based on fact, but has led to speculation. However, that's a lot of what we are left with. Bouncing ideas based on facts has been positive. It has been, Tiny. I agree with that. Because at the end of the day, you got to think of it like this. When you go into, I don't think anybody's ever been in a war room before, okay? The way you do war rooms is you take all the information. Usually you have a whiteboard, okay? And you write down every single detail that you know it, all the facts. You don't do any speculation, just straight facts. You just list everything. Whiteboard, you have a huge whiteboard, you put a line down the middle, and you write all of the facts that you know them to be true. You don't make sentences, you do one-liners, you just try to bullet points, like 3-hour phone call, front door, walked out, you put all the facts down, list this. And then on the other side, you start theorizing, what do those facts mean, right? This is what law enforcement does as well. Law enforcement speculates. That's how they go and find leads. They're like, oh, so if this happened and this happened, I wonder if, for example, let me explain it like this. And this is something I hope Silvers watches. One of the statements was about, and this is becoming, because Hindsight just did a video on it about the washer and dryer. So on the Nancy Grace or another content creator, I know they were in the camper, but there was something where he said, I don't have a washer and dryer in my camper. I have to go to the laundromat. Okay. So on the fact side, you will say no washer and dryer, laundromat. On the other side, it's like, which laundromat did he go to? Can we derive any information from the employees at that laundromat, right? So now you have laundromat. You go and find out, is there anything to go with the laundromat? Did he say anything? Did he take Katie there? Did he have Sebastian there? Did Sebastian ever visit him down there? You know, those are things that you're going to want to speculate about. Is it possible that they might have some information? They may. Go find out. Another thing would be him walking out the door, right? Him walking out the door. On the other side, you'd be listing other things other than him walking out the door, like somebody breaking in, somebody taking him out of his bed, some harm coming to him inside the house. You know, you got to speculate. Then you have these 3 points, and it's like, okay, how are we going to validate or debunk? And then you go through the processes of what is it going to take to validate this situation, somebody breaking in the house. What would it take to validate somebody breaking in the house? Okay, moved screens, ripped screens, broken window, broken door, other access in the house. Okay, now they can go and look at all the windows and see all the windows. No window was manipulated. Now they go to the doors. No doors were manipulated. So if no doors were manipulated, there's nothing on the camera. How would he have gotten out of the house? Well, we did find a film that shows flashlights at 3:30, between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. I wonder if he could have walked out on his own at 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning, or was carried out 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, now that we have walked out and carried out, how are we going to validate or debunk that statement? And with the carried out, how are we going to validate or debunk that statement? And then it works from there. Everybody needs to speculate, even law enforcement, in order to try to figure out, make heads or tails of the facts. It's not uncommon for people to do that. Not to mention, Katie was throwing everyone the... Oh, I think I read that one. I don't even know if that photo was recent, because CP did not look like he did in court. I don't think... No, it definitely was. It's because it's different. When you're angling up and angling down, like, for example, this might make my face look much bigger than it might be, okay? This might make my face look even bigger, okay? This might make me look a lot thinner. It's all about the position of the camera. The further up and angle down, you don't see all the ripples. You don't see the double chin that everybody swears they don't have, but everybody does, even the thinnest people I know. It's all about the angle of the footage. So the more angle and further away you get, the thinner and more put together you get. The closer you are, the bigger your face looks. And if you noticed, when they had that camera on him, they zoomed in. Big ol' eye there, isn't it? Much smaller way over here. So take that into consideration. A little light camera action for you. It's all about camera. That's why I said, people don't understand. When you work on a camera, You know which ways. Like, you know that whenever you do this, don't mind my mess. This is all Delilah's stuff. But this film, it would drown my face out. That's why I'm against this dark film with the light coming in. Because it gives me more light this way. If I turn the other way and the light was on the outside, then what would happen? It would drown out my face and you would be... So it's all about lighting and stuff like that. My paperwork, all Delilah's... She gets cold now. She starts shivering on my legs, so I've been keeping, you know, blankies around. I've been keeping blankies around. Oh, look at her. Look at her. In my messy living room. She's all sweet. Look at her. She's so cute. She's so cute. I'm getting a new bed for her. I'm getting her one of the dome beds because she likes to be a little more warm. Can you confirm something for me? Did KP report Sebastian as barefoot when her and CP called? I don't think so. I don't think she reported him barefoot. I think, I don't know. I don't know when the feet came up. I don't know when the shoes came up, but it was after law enforcement got there. From my understanding, when they asked us, all of his shoes accounted for. And I think what they were trying to determine is what he took with him. And I think they forgot to take the shoes. I think it was just as, I think that was a fatal flaw in this story. I don't think they intentionally meant for him to go out without shoes, and I think that was the fatal flaw. I don't think she even realized he didn't have shoes on until they were going through the list, and she knew that the father, Seth Rogers, would know. She knows that Seth knows how many shoes he has. She knows that I really believe Seth had to think that there's something not right here. Seth said in a live last night that Seth is the one that noticed all the shoes were there. What live did he do last night? Did I miss a live? Or was he just talking? Where was this in Brittany's chat? Was Brittany live last night? I was trying to wait up for her live. I ended up falling asleep on Mr. and Mrs. E. I don't stay up that late. I'm usually up very early. But here this week, with my neuropathy down my right arm keeping me awake, I've been waking up in the middle of the night and going back to sleep, you know, within the hour. And I noticed that I haven't been getting up until like 7:30 here recently. And that's because I'm not getting a good night's sleep. So I ended up falling asleep. I don't know when I fell asleep. So Seth said he was the one that told Katie his shoes were there. She didn't even realize it until he pointed it out. Mr. and Mrs. E. He was on Mr. Was it just in chat or did he come up on panel? He was just texting. Can somebody go back there and capture those texts and send that to me? Actually, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know what? I'll speak to Tony and try to get a hold of Seth and do that. We were stunned. On dispatch, that stated Sebastian was barefooted. But yeah, but when they found out he was barefoot, if we remember the time, I think it was like 9 or 10. That would have been after Seth was there. That would be wild. Okay, so let's play this. Let's play this tape through. Let's play this tape through. Okay. So she reports her son missing. They come there. They've already started searching because Seth didn't get there until 8:30, 8:45-ish, somewhere around there, give or take, you know, that few minutes. I don't know specifically when he got there, but I believe it was somewhere around there. Oh, I apologize. It was Mr. and Mrs. E. Okay, yeah. Perfect. So that means, what made him notice that all the shoes were there? They effed up. There's no way. If he's the one that noticed all the shoes there, That was an oh shit factor. There's an oh shit factor there. There is an oh shit factor there. OMG, there has to be. There has to be. They didn't even notice the shoes were there. I told you, they forgot to put them on. I'm telling you, the shoes are what makes me believe he came home. And the shoes are what make me believe that something happened to him. Because I don't really care. I have no faith in what Chris or Katie say, because we've caught them in so many lies. And guys, I'm sorry, but you catch somebody, think about it. When you have a child, your child, when they're young, they have no reason to lie to you. They're almost, everybody knows that children, young children, are almost too honest, right? Embarrassingly honest, okay? Let's be honest. Young children are embarrassingly honest, okay? When they overhear a question, they will answer the question very honestly, whether you want them to or not, okay? Children are ultra honest, right? We can all agree our kids don't lie to us when they're kids. They're taught lies. They're taught, oh, if you want not to be in trouble, you should probably not tell the truth, right? So over time, you catch them in the lie. And when you catch them in their first lie, think about your demeanor with your own child. You now have to question everything that comes out of their mouth, because you have caught them in a lie, and you know they're willing to lie to you. What else will they lie to you about? And so you sit them down and you try to educate them on why lying is really, really bad. But after that point, from them being brutally honest with you, why does your butt look so big, Mom? Right? Grandma, you got a big butt. That's rude. Well, I'm sorry, she's got a big butt, right? Seth said he noticed when he walked in the door because they were sitting right there by the door. Ugh. Yes, they are honest, right? So once you know that your child is really, has lied to you, you now know they're willing to lie to you. You now know that they've learned, they learned how to lie, okay? And so you try your best to explain to them why lying is really, really bad, and hope to change that behavior. But it's like a gator and meat, right? That's why they tell you not to feed a gator. Why? Because they think you're food. If you feed them, their little brains are going to attach that food comes from humans, and they see humans as now the chicken leg that you just fed the gator. Don't feed gators, by the way. Nobody ever across this country in the United States should ever be feeding gators, because I will tell you, they will think one time when it's not right that somebody is a piece of chicken when they're a human being swimming in the water. Don't feed the gators. But I feel like it's like that. Once they get the bite and they get the taste of blood, it's done for them, right? And then once they get the taste of the lie, it's done for them. They're now are well versed in lying. So long story short, you get what I'm trying to make. And I feel like that's the same way with Katie, is that, they've been caught in so many lies. How can we determine what they're being truthful about and what they're not? We have to take everything as a lie and question everything that's coming out of their mouth. Betty, please play the first 30 minutes of the dispatch call. Actually, it's only 20 minutes long. I can play the whole thing in 30 minutes, but which part of it? Because I don't feel like playing it. We just played it this morning on the first live. Do you have a specific part you'd like to play? Well, what the hell? We got nothing better to do. Let's see. Give me a second. Let me find it. I was not calling you. Okay, let me go to my playlist. Here it is.
Hey, Missy. 1008 Stanford Court. 1008 Stanford Court, Hendersonville. Caller guys, the 15-year-old that was not in the bed. So yeah, right now, 34 here, but we're going to turn down. I'm going to be wearing a black sweatshirt, but yeah. You know, those have a problem with autism. This is the first time it happened. I'm going to be in the home before midnight. The doors are locked at this time. Just dorm around. I talked to you, 47-180, 412. Juvenile was just out of the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in an historic subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Xfinity. Sit there and see what's going on. Go on search of the residence. We'll go from there. In the area. Shit won't hold up. Just seeing it. You can't take the assistant around 3 minutes. I said, there's no medical center ER, Sumner Station ER, Sumner Regional ER, Amsterdam, Gulfbeer, the juvenile.
Can you guys hear?
You can see that Cobra has the most better than 45. Last big trade wrapped up. The construction site over here back towards the beach. It's awful muddy. Do you see any folks rats or anything? You don't have any shoes? No, get it?
They're saying that they didn't have shoes, but they said they didn't have shoes at 7:50 in the morning. So they must have known. Yes, but you need to talk to softer. Okay, so it needs to talk. They talk about Sebastian not having shoes on right before one of the LE finds the mannequin in the woods. Right, and that's at 7:54. So they must have known that he didn't have shoes prior to Seth's arrival, because Seth didn't arrive for another 30 minutes before that, and they're already talking about not having shoes. So Seth also noticed Bowersox talking about wanting some kind of jewelry. Interesting. BH gift for her baby is not going to be redeemable after a while, I'm afraid. How long are Amazon cards good for, you know? Did I get an Amazon gift card? If I did, was I supposed to accept it and just missed it? I'm sorry. Send me an email. I don't know what you're talking about. Hello, Tara. It's nice to see you. So we have that answered. Is that what you were trying to get for me to do, Pebbles, is to find the time that they bring up the shoes? Yes, you're right. But I remember Seth's interview. He saw Sebastian's shoes. He bought him sitting there in Seth, the beginning of the interview at his house. Okay, yeah. Well, thank God Ellie didn't miss that. But I still think that it's a fatal flaw. I think that, you got to think of it like this. Everybody that complains about this child just walking out the door, they're acting like this is a normal kid. That this is a normal teenage kid going through a punk phase, and all of us, I suppose Seth didn't realize the shoes were figured out by then, perhaps. Or, what could be done is we don't know the timing. This is, could it have been just a mistake on Jessica's part as well? I don't know when they found out about and we don't know when what actual specific time that they were at the retaining pond. Ooh, and she's in a different country. Is it possible that their time zone is off and she's got everything off by an hour? I don't know, because she started it at 6:39. I don't know. I think she would have taken that into consideration. I'm unsure. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Could it have been closer to 9 instead of closer to 8? It's possible. I don't know. Betty, I sent you an email with screenshots stating timestamps. Notice shoes first. Put a link in the live. Okay, hold on a second. Who was the first to notice the shoes? Let's see. Hold on. Let me go back. Oh, but we don't have the, it doesn't have the, oh, you put the screenshot, that's right, you put the screenshot in here. So 142.36, give me just a second. 142.30, we'll go 142, we'll just listen to the first 3 minutes.
Seems like every third or fourth mystery, there's an issue with the dogs.
Hold on.
Seth says,
Okay.
Bus picked him up in front of the house, not at the driveway, and I saw his shoes inside, so he made it out right.
Right, exactly.
The shoe thing is it?
It always comes back to the shoes.
Yeah.
It does. And
Actually,
also, real quick, Little Miss Attitude is Misty, just in case. So,
Oh,
thank you
okay.
for being here, Little Miss Attitude.
Little Miss
The
Attitude.
question I have, Seth, if you don't mind to answer, if you don't want to answer, that's okay, or if you can't. Do you know who the first person to realize all of his shoes were accounted for was? Like, was that you or Katie,
Or the police.
police, or someone else? If you know that answer, that's great. If you don't, that's okay. Or if you don't want to say, that's okay too.
If you can't say, just say,
But that is one.
There might be some time issues. I'll have to reach out. Does anybody know Jessica Danielle? Does anybody know Jessica Danielle? Is it possible that somebody could reach out to her and clarify about the timestamps and make sure that she's using Tennessee time? No kidding what mother thinks. I knew he was gone because I saw all his shoes are here. Blows me away. If my kid's gone, if shoes were gone, not at home. Yeah, if child leaves, typically, hey Michelle, it's nice to see you, love. Typically, if they leave, they take their shoes. I mean, what person runs away from home and says, oh, I forgot my shoes, especially an autistic boy that always puts his shoes on when he knows he's going out. You know, I think Katie brought it up and she said something to try to diffuse what Seth had said about him putting his shoes on. And she goes, I know he always says that he always puts his shoes on, but we have differences. Like there's been times he's walked out to the mailbox. You're right. Okay, so maybe he has walked out to the mailbox in just his socks. But that was just to the mailbox. You're talking about a kid willingly and knowingly waking up to run away from home. Who would run away from home without thinking that they're going to need, like, the top of the mind would have been the snacks. They had just gotten snacks from BJ's earlier that day. They were probably his favorite snacks. Up in the middle of the night, when he's up in the middle of the night, he's usually rummaging the kitchen for snacks and hiding those wrappers and what he's not supposed to have under his bed. So why, if he's waking up in the middle of the night and he's accustomed to going in the kitchen and getting snacks, why would he not go and grab some snacks to go on the road, his favorite snacks? You know, he knows he's running away from home. He's blowing this popsicle stand. He doesn't want to be here anymore. He wants to run away from home. Who does that without shoes, jackets, or food? And then you couple that with him being highly functioning autistic and glued to his switch. And everything, I have not found one thing common from one autistic child to another autistic child except their love of video games. So it blows my mind. It blows my mind. I think it became a bigger point when Seth got there and noticed Sebastian's shoes all there. I doubt KP told LE about Sebastian's sensory issues with his feet. Bingo, Nani. I bet you that has something to do with it. But it could be, you know, you got to understand the person that created this. I don't know how they, I believe Jessica does a great job. So it's not like I believe she doctored any of this up, but she's just not that kind of person at all. I don't know her personally, but when you see her talk and she's a new mom, you can just tell things about people. Okay. I'm sorry. You just can. And she doesn't seem like anything that she has no dog in this fight. She just wants to help any way she can, just like a lot of us, you know. So I don't see her doing that. But is it possible she made a mistake? And I truly do believe there is a possibility of that. When were the shoes originally brought up? And is it possible that the timing's off just a little bit? I don't know. I have amazing neighbors. I've been sick, so one bring movies and brought me. Aww, I know. I'm gonna miss my neighbor. I pray to God he stays. Hey, Miss Betty, I'm sorry. Late hope you and baby girl are well. Oh, she's precious. She's sleeping in her bed right now in her cute little dress. Her cute little dress that Gypsy bought her. She's got. I'm gonna be putting her in a dress. I got 5 dresses. She's so cute in them. I'm sorry, she just is. Shoes are significant in missing children cases. Maddie Soto, 1 crock in the dumpster, 1 in bed. Sebastian's shoes still there. Yeah. Everyone, hello. Hope all is well. Prayers for Sebastian is found. Thank you, Beth. Thank you. He would definitely have taken food and his switch. I believe that. I absolutely believe that. But autism requires consistency, correct? That's what I'm learning, is consistency, repetition, the same thing every day. It's what allows them to thrive, them having those positive habits, you know, getting up, doing the same exact thing over and over again. It's just, in my opinion, I think that's for repetition and memory retention, to help them remember everything that needs to be done. But it just seems like this was off from the very beginning. We didn't realize it, you know, no shoes, because many of us have our kids that I mean, even my granddaughters, they hated shoes. They hated putting flip-flops. They loved to go splash in the mud. They loved to get their feet dirty. They didn't like wearing shoes, okay? I'm one of those people, don't go out of this house without shoes. I don't feel like having, you know, a sliced foot that we have to go to an emergency room if there's a piece of glass or something out here. You know, you never know what I mean, when we did work around here, like, we found some of the weirdest stuff in our yard that you wouldn't believe, just from having to plant stuff and you unearth toys and all. You never know what's under there. I've been always in a, you put your shoes on before you go outside. If I saw my granddaughters outside without shoes on, I'd make their butts come back in and put some darn shoes on, you know? So I'm one of those people that want my grandchildren with shoes on their feet when they go out the door. But we all know that we have teenage kids that don't want to wear shoes, that run around without shoes on all the time, ride their bike. You know, they have Fred Flintstone feet. You know, I don't know why, but there's just some kids that don't want to wear shoes. They don't like them. Okay. Well, he's not a normal kid that doesn't like wearing shoes. He's scared of ants. He's scared of stepping in dirt and having his feet on fire. That's what he understands. And that's what scares him. And it scares him so much that he prefers putting his shoes on before leaving the house. Now, he is leaving the house, right? Running away from home is leaving the house. It's not going to the mailbox, and it's not being at the home and just simply going to a mailbox and coming back in. He's leaving the house. His memory and his mind's telling him when he leaves the house, he needs to put his socks and shoes on. Hendersonville, Tennessee, if you could respond, we would appreciate it. Also, do you have an email, friends, so we can touch base directly? We are on Bullhorn Betty's channel right now, wondering. What? Hendersonville, Tennessee time? Thank you, Mystic Firefly. Here's the link. If you wish to the event, come tell us. Thank you so much. Well, you can't post links in here. If you can send it to one of my mods, they can post links. So if it didn't post because of your link, it's because you can't post links. We need the correct birth year for Sebastian, since there is a date as of December 2008, December 7th, 2008, and December 2009. Well, he was 15 in 2023, so I can tell you right now when he was born. (2008). Because it's 2024 and he's turning 16 this year. So he was born in 2008. Hey, I am Teen Summer. I hope you're doing well. And he's scared of insects. He's scared of everything outside. That's why he stays inside. He does think, if you noticed, it seems like he was very much sheltered at his primary residence because it sounds like they were embarrassed of his outbursts if things didn't go his way out in public. Instead of just dealing with it, they just kept him at home where he's content and happy and everything like that. It doesn't seem like, you know, they talk about these parks and stuff like that, but we've heard over and over again that the neighbors barely even knew he lived there. They knew of him, but they didn't know him. They didn't see him out. He never played with people. He never went out and had friends. And you see how they act. You know, a simple question of does he have friends? They go in a huge dissertation about how he can't make friends. You know, all he wants is friends. You know, I just can't with them. I really can't. Bullhorn Betty, I believe she sent you an email. Oh, as I read it. Okay. See what we got. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so that was from Hope of Life. Let's see. Did I get the link? I think, oh, that's from, that's, okay, yeah, I got the link. We just played it. Oh, good gracious. Upload. I can't read it from this one. I have to wait until the next one. Okay, guys. Sorry for getting all off track. Yeah, he was born in 2008. Yeah. So he was born in 2008. December, he's 16, December 7th. No, he's not 17. He's turning 16 in December. His sweet 16, he's not even going to be here for his birthday. Like, I just... The anger I have over this, I mean, literally the anger I have over all of this. It's like these people, they actually think we're going to buy into their BS. It's sick. This doesn't make sense and hasn't made sense. Overstimulating day and no shower makes me feel there was a fight. He acted out and KP was exhausted and over the day, making over-medicating a strong possibility. Yeah, it is, but people ask me about this over-medication thing. And yes, it is a possibility, and it's a good probability. On my birthday. I got it. I'm pretty sure I got it, Ginger. Hold on. I'm pretty sure I got it. Amazon. Gift card. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. It's saved to my Google Play. I did get it. I remember that. Hold on, I'll show you. See? Well, I don't want to put the code. Let me back the code up so nobody can receive it. See, it says I already redeemed it. The red print down there says I already redeemed it. So I got it. Thank you. Thank you. There was no way for me to say thank you, I don't think. Because I remember writing back on the email and saying thank you, and I don't think it would let me send it to you. I meant to say thank you publicly, but I think I just forgot to. So I did get it. I did get it. Thank you so much. I haven't spent a dime of it yet, but I did get it. I did get it. Thank you. I don't believe he could make friends. I feel PF didn't want other kids. They didn't want anybody around. They had no adult parties at their house. They didn't have a lot of friends come over. I mean, back in the day, you know, now things are settled down, but it's because of all the crap that's been going on. You know, I just kind of kept people away. If I'm going to go someplace, I'll go visit them. I don't want them coming over here because of the shenanigans of these hate channels, you know, keeping my house under surveillance and keeping me under surveillance, which people don't believe happened. Yes, it did. Beer Can followed me to a court proceeding here in Manatee County over my husband's credit card. She's followed me to my house. She's posted my home on social media with directions to come here for people to tear my house up. You know, and this is, and Queen Bee is supporting it and has supported, and this has been going on for 2 years. She was just out in front of my house just the other day while when I was using the weed eater. That was Beer Can. That's Peggy Todd. Peggy Todd. She wants to do criminal conduct here, and I've been praying on whether I'm going to get a restraining order against her, because now this is the 3rd time she's followed me. That's repeated behavior. You know? And I did file a report, so they can't say that there's privacy because this is a publicly filed report. Really? I was in Justin's chat this morning and was getting explained this over and over about Sebastian's birthday. He will be 16 in December, as you have been informed multiple times. Yeah, he's turning 16. I know that for a fact. Thank you, Betty. I just looked at the flyer poster and has 2009 and some have 2008. That was a clerical error, I'm sure. Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a blessed day. Every day I pray. When I look at Sebastian's news, he's healthy, perfect, just the way he is. Well, thank you, T. Murphy. I'm beginning to think Shirley H. is. Let's not be rude. We can't be rude to other people either. If they're being rude, then the mods will handle it. So just ignore them if you think they're a troll. I get mad because I have publicly shed more tears than his own mother and step monster. I believe it. We all have. I can tell you there's been times here that I think one of the hardest times, I think one of the hardest times for me, and this is honesty, the hardest part for me is always when I talk to a parent. It's like Seth point blank asked me when I first met him, are you looking for my son alive or are you looking for my son deceased? And that's always the hardest question to answer. And at that time, and still at this time, I'm not going to go through it in case he's watching. He knows our conversation, but those are always the hardest answers. You know, you never want to tell. You always want to tell somebody what they want to hear, and you never want to tell somebody what they don't want to hear, especially somebody that's in a lot of pain. But I can tell you that when I got back here, finally back to Florida, it weighs on me. It bothers me. I can't imagine how hurtful my answer to that question is, but there's always one thing that I just don't do, and it's I don't lie to people. You know, I won't lie to a parent. I won't. I don't see any benefit in it. These cases are tough. Finding the answers are tough. It's no joke. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, it comes down to the behavior of the parents, and the behavior of the parents are very eye-opening for me, and it only leads in one direction for me, and that's for me. Now, does my audience, believe this, that, or the other? Maybe. I don't know what my audience believes or what they don't believe, other than the commentary that they give here that I can read. But I can tell you that it's upsetting. I can tell you I've cried over this case. I know I've beat my head against the wall of where this child could be, and I'm tired of watching law enforcement do absolutely nothing, no searches, no nothing, and then do everything they can to hinder private people from trying to find this child. This was something totally different in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, when you had a police department that wasn't trying to toot their own horn or trying to be arrogant and stuff like that. They were all too willing to include the community in the help of that, trying to find that child. Tennessee doesn't care. Like I said, they are, this is a state. I don't care. This is what I'm going to tell to the rest of the law enforcement people that watch me. Do not follow in the footsteps of Tennessee. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. I don't know what kind of law Tennessee has there. I don't know, you know, I've always thought Tennessee was a conservative law and order state. But I tell you, after 4 years of doing this, I fear for children in the state of Tennessee. I do. If anything happens to the kids in Tennessee, unless their parents admit to what they've done or they find a body, parents just get away with murder in the state of Tennessee. And I mean that. I mean that. And it's not just for children. It's for anybody. If you are a resident of Tennessee, if your life ends and they can't find you, you do not get justice. You do not get justice. As long as they can hide your body and clean up the evidence well enough, it'll be 30 years before somebody's brought to justice. That makes me sick. They are like literally in 1950s law, in my opinion. Now, I could be too strong on Tennessee, right? I could be a little too hard on them, and that's okay. You know what I want from Tennessee? I want them to prove me wrong. I want them to make me eat my words. That's what I want from Tennessee. Prove me wrong. But they can't. Because at the end of the day, kids that go missing in Tennessee by their parents, it's very seldom. Unless they, like the lady that drowned her daughter in that pond, they had her arrested. They had her arrested lickety-split. But they could prove it, and they found the child. Summer Wells, body gone. Probably moved several times. Sebastian Rogers, everybody keeps asking, what about that 17 to 24 hour? Why did he need to go back and get his camper? Well, he was either moving him or covering up crimes or disposing of evidence. I don't know what he was doing. All I know is he was up to no good for 17 to 24 hours. Nobody gives a rat's patootie about their darn camper in the middle of a child missing. Nobody cares. I have never heard such foolishness in my life. I felt from day one this occurred in the tub. I always said that I thought she strangled him or suffocated him. Drowning is right up there. And the reason why I think that is because of that optimum photo. There's a clear thumbprint on that boy's Adam apple. Clear thumbprint. Think about it. When you go like this, what's in the front of the what's in the front of your neck? It was a single lone thumbprint. And that is the reason why I think strangulation is a big possibility, because it looked like she had already done that to him in the recent, you know, how do we know she didn't attempt this several other times? You know, Chris hasn't been home with her, according to him and her, for almost a month. That picture does bother me, because, you know, everybody's like, oh, it's a shadow, and, you know, oh, thank you.
I didn't have no green beans. I thought it was
Well, black eyed peas are just as good. You didn't put any salad dressing on my.
I don't know what kind you like.
You were lucky.
Huh?
You're lucky.
Why?
Because if you put the wrong salad dressing on it, I'd kick your butt. Thank you. Thank you. food. Let's see, do you like black-eyed peas? You want a black-eyed peas? Try a black-eyed pea. You like black-eyed peas? Oh, you took that like a champ. She loves carrots. She loves raw carrots. Like, she'll eat a freaking raw carrot. She likes black-eyed peas. She likes green beans. I haven't tried sweet peas or corn with her yet. And she likes Parmesan cheese. Real, authentic, freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Here's another black-eyed pea. My fur baby loves raw carrots too. My neighbor as well. No comment, LOL. I have been saying since the picture Sebastian came out. KV said it was chocolate milk, was a bruise, but nobody pays attention. Possibly. Well, he had a mark up here too. So he was talking about some. You want another? Here. Good gracious. Don't turn up my couch. There's you another pea. Betty, what about the body bruises? I hadn't seen them until Justin showed them on his live this morning. What bruises? I didn't get a chance. I didn't know he was live. Or maybe I was in there and then I was working on something else. I was listening to him and I wasn't watching him. I remember. Was that Glenn? I'm telling you, find out where he's moving to and find out. I think he's going to a condo or an apartment. I'm not doing condos. He's getting up there in age, you know. So I think he's just trying to minimize as much as possible, you know. He's still a strong whippersnapper, but I just think that he's getting to the point where he's starting to look at, you know, what's his family going to have to deal with and stuff like that. The entire story is untrue. I believe it. Listen, guys, if it wasn't for the shoes, we would be looking at alternative theories. If it wasn't for the shoes and the proof of life videos, we'd be looking at a lot of different alternatives. Because if we didn't have that information, I would be also on the bandwagon if I don't think he came home that night. But because of certain things, I truly do believe he came home that night. Which both, I know a lot of, we're like 50-50 in this chat on how many people believe that he left, or he came home, and half believe that he never made it home. I'm one of those people that do believe he came home because of the shoes and because of the garbage cans. Now, I know we're back and forth on whether he took the garbage cans out and his nightly routines and when that was established. I'm not sure why they split a lot of stuff up. I think Chris did himself a disservice by being so secretive, but it seems to me like he's the one that has the most to hide. He's the one in the custody fight for his daughter. He's the one that's on the hook financially. He's the one that's really trying to drive the narrative and get the focus off them, and I think it's because of his custody issue with his daughter, his biological daughter. I really don't think this was planned, because I think they would have planned it a little bit better. I mean, people are saying, well, they did plan it pretty good. I mean, they still haven't found Sebastian yet. And while that's true, I think it's because of the 17 to 24 hours that they got it right. I don't think they had it right their first go round. You know, I've always felt CP involved from day one. I actually, if you guys remember, for those that haven't been with me from the beginning of this, and you know, just come aboard, you know, as time was going on and me talking about this case, when I first heard of this case, I thought it was Chris that went back to the house and snuck into his own house to take Sebastian out. That's what I truly thought happened. It was Pebbles in here, and it might even have been Susiana as well. I can't remember. There was only one or two possibilities of people that were giving me theories of mom being involved. And I kept listening and I kept listening and I kept listening. And then I heard the neighbors basically say they hadn't seen Chris at home in weeks. And that's when it solidified for me that Katie's been home dealing with all of the home, house cleaning, the yard maintenance, everything all by herself while going to school and taking care of a medically needy child. Yeah. Could she have snapped? Yeah. The ingredients were all there. You know, the ingredients were definitely all there. And so that's when I started looking at it as, you know, maybe mom really did do this. Because I didn't think she would. I think that she was completely oblivious. And Chris is the one that snuck in the house. He did a ninja move because he's military trained. He could absolutely, without a doubt, sneak in his own house undetected. Without a doubt, sneak into his own house undetected and do something. And so that was my theory for, what was my, I don't know. You're going to have to ask Pebbles because I don't even remember. I want to say that was my top theory for like a month, wasn't it? Like a month and a half. And Pebbles kept sending me stuff. Like, I don't know. I really think you're missing something here. I really think you're missing something here. UCP, yeah, Betty, UCP first. Yeah, I know. I was all over CP. I thought he broke into his own house and did a ninja move. And it's, and then as time went on, you know, we were trusting the PIs, which said he was at this, and I never knew that the PI source was him himself. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. You go to the person you suspect and take their word for it. Yeah, what a great PI they are. And I talk about both of them, not just Chloe, Heather too. This was her crackpot show too. Those ladies misguided a lot of people. Shame on them. Shame on them, shame on them, shame on them, shame on them, shame on them. I'm guessing going the other way now. LOL. Watching you in interviews again. Yeah. I don't know if it isn't bite marks. I used to spend a lot of time in the woods and used to get blackberry. That's what I thought. I thought those were some pretty, that's why I said because of his arms, and those happened after he came back, guys. He came back from, this is after he left for 17 to 24 hours when he wound up with those scratch marks and bite marks or whatever those things were all over his arms that he blames on the dogs. It was after Sebastian was reported missing, but they didn't arrive on his arms until after he came back from picking up his camper when he disappeared for 17 to 24 hours. And I've always said that's how my arms look like when I come from a search. That's why I said when I looked at those 4 people, I'm like, there's no way they searched. When I'm out in the woods and searching, especially in Tennessee, oh, good gracious, they got crap that sticks all over you. There's been times I've had to throw my leggings away because there is no way I can pick all that shit off my leggings in order to wash them. And I'm not throwing all that crap in my washer to stick on every other clothes I have. Those woods in Tennessee are brutal. And never mind the frickin' ticks out there. The ticks are frickin' brutal. You gotta be ultra, ultra careful. And they're frickin' looking pristine, like they all just got out of a freaking shower and trying to act like they're searching. Cut it out and give me a break. Maybe the people on YouTube and from these hate channels that don't get off their butt and do anything, but I'm sorry. I've searched Tennessee mountains. I've searched Tennessee woods. Hell, I have been in Tennessee for the last 4 freaking years, and I have never done a search and looked that clean before, ever in the state of in any state. The only state I looked that clean in was Georgia. And that's because we had a 4-wheeler and there was too many freaking rattlesnakes on the ground for us to search by foot. My theory upsets people when looking at the DA's sign. I feel KP gave him a lovely last day and had chose between her son and her marriage. Yes. That's how this is looking. I mean, you're not wrong for feeling that way. Without a doubt, that is exactly how this is looking. He told him, it's your son or it's me. And all of a sudden, the son's gone and it's just him. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we all know that something happened to this boy, but we're not, we need to move a step further because we need to find out where this boy is. We can all have our opinions that his mom and stepdad have more knowledge about what happened to him, but they're never going to say. They're never going to say. One of them are going to have to break their silence, or we're going to have to find this boy. And I truly believe going back to Chris's childhood is the way to solve this case. I really do. If people know anybody that knew Chris from back in his years of high school, middle school, elementary school, if anybody knows his young adulthood, if you would like to stay confidential, I'm happy to keep you confidential, but please reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. You may have the nugget of information that breaks this case wide open. You may not have seen him at any time in the recent history, but if you knew him from high school, middle school, elementary school, please, please, please reach out to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. We need to find out who he is and where he spent his time. Where was he the most comfortable? If this is our theory, if our theory is mom lost her crap and Chris was the cleanup, then Chris would have worked within his comfort zone. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This went off this night. Everybody had to jump into action. Something had to be done. Oh my gosh. He would have been only working in areas of comfort and knowledge. Comfort and knowledge. All right, guys. Well, it was nice to see you. I'm hearing that Justin's going to be going on soon. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I just wanted to take you guys, to be honest with you, I saw a hate channel doing the hateful things that they were doing. This is a channel that never does a darn thing to help any case, but sit up there with their hand out and complaining about everybody that gives a crap and goes out there and works their butt off to find answers while they sit there and say, oh, I could do it better. Then why don't you? Then why don't you? Why don't you get off your fat lips ass and actually go out in the woods and have your herd of buffalo with you? Because you know what? At the end of the day, you can sit here and complain about me. You can complain about every single person in this world, from Tyler Feller to whoever you want to. You can drag anybody you want to, but at the end of the day, what are you doing? You ain't a hero, B. You a zero that ain't doing nothing for nobody except trying to complain and say, oh, look at how horrible they did it. Well, show us how it's done, because you can't. You have to actually take your fat lips outside of your home and get busy and not just sit out there and puff on shit. There's some people that like actually being in their body and actually don't like being out of their mind to function. Maybe if you laid off you might actually lose some weight. You might actually have some energy to go out and look for a missing person or post a flyer. Keep smoking your shit. I hope you get cancer, boo. I hope you get cancer. Oh my God, Betty's mean. Yes, I am. Don't let me fool you. Don't let me fool you. Yes, I am. Sure am. All right, guys. Peace out. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And remember, I was going to say, be kind to one another. Be safe and be kind to one another unless they're a troll or a hate channel. And then give them a taste of their own damn medicine. Because sometimes that's all that works. Eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. B, why don't you fly your butt out to Tennessee and actually start helping instead of hindering an investigation? Just saying. God bless.